Hey, it's Bitty Penny, and I'm here with a hashtag Not Too Shabby Digi Challenge. This is presented by Carrie Rhoades and Jamie at Not Too Shabby Shop. So this is my first YouTube challenge video to take part in. Now you can take part in this too, and you don't have to do it on YouTube. Let me jump into the video. So when I did the challenge is to use 3 of Jamie's digital images and embossing, either dry embossing on paper or wet embossing with embossing powder. So I printed up a bunch of images and I scaled them to fit this window. My idea was that the snowman and the fox in the trees would be the view from the windows, and the little coffee bar would be in the house on the wall, against the wall. So that was my inspiration of how to combine these 3 images. Now I bought these images today and they were like $1.50 each. Plus you can use Jamie for 10% off. So I got it for, I think, $4.50. A great deal. I mean, as you can see, one of the awesome things about digital files is you can print and color and create things just to fit perfectly within your project, which is something that I love about digitals. Making cards with digital prints from various sellers is definitely something that I'll be doing a lot on my channel because it's something that I love to do in my craft room. So things I like about it is the flexibility. When you buy a stamp, that it's only that one size. When you buy a digital like this, the clip art, you can make it any size you want. So I was able to scale it perfectly for this slimline card that I'm going to make. So here I am, I'm just coloring everything up. I don't leave all the coloring in the video because I'm not trying to do a masterful job. And even if I did try to do a masterful job, it might not turn out. So I'm kind of doing like a shabby design here and shabby chic, if you will, and a little bit rustic. So I'm adding in a lot of muted colors. You're gonna see that I colored up a lot of this image, but then I ended up editing this image down. And that is another thing that I do from time to time. Like, I love this image as it is. I especially like it in the larger size because it has so much detail. But because I was putting a lot of detail on my card, I felt like I should cut it down and make it more simple. So here I'm just coloring things up, and I end up coloring more than I keep in the image, but I try to just keep the coloring for the things that I did keep. I'm using a combination of Arteza markers, they're alcohol markers, as well as Spectrum Noir. So I find both of these are really great. I actually think I like the nibs of the Arteza a little bit better. They seem to glide better. The Spectrum Noir nibs have kind of a grit to them, but I have the full collection, so I'm keeping them. All right, again, I'm just trying to make sure that the coffee bar I'm working on is going to work for me. So here I am working with how I want to trim my images to make sure that they fit in my window. Like, I wanted to place it so the snowman's cute little face was peeking through a window pane and not like covered up by the bar of the window. So I tried to be strategic in how I was cutting that down. Same thing with the little fox. I wanted him to be curled up in a window pane and not covered up. So one of the things I did is I extended the trees, the birch trees, but unfortunately I lost some footage. So you won't see that necessarily, but you will see it in the finished product. So I just extended, which was easy enough to extend it up to the top of the window. Okay, so here I'm going to start cutting, fussy cutting, and editing down this image to make it more ideal. One thing I really liked about it is there's just enough coffee mugs hanging from that shelf to do a rainbow, and I thought that was so cute. So I tried it out even though it didn't make it into the final edit of my card. The colors just didn't quite work, and again I wanted to just make it a little more simple and a little more clean for the design I was doing. Another thing that is unfortunately missing in my footage is how I embossed my paper, which was one of the challenges aspects. And I actually used, because I was making a slimline card, okay, I'm holding that there just to see what that edit's gonna look like. And I decided, yes, I want to cut this. So I do that sometimes too. All right, so I embossed my paper with a scoreboard and got the embossing of lines. It kind of looks like shiplap. So I guess this would be Joanna Gaines approved card here. But so I embossed my paper with the scoreboard, and then I went back with a gray marker and traced the embossed lines, which gives it a lot of dimension. And I liked that. I liked the way it turned out. So I've been playing around with slimlines, but I haven't released videos. A lot of slimline cards without slimline tools, like there's certainly some that I would love to have, but a lot of times they're sold out. So I will get them eventually. I do want to take a minute and talk about Jamie's shop. So I've been card making for 5 years now, and I found Jamie pretty early on, the Not Too Shabby Shop. And to this day, it is hands down one of my absolute favorite shops. Jamie's kindness just pours out of her. I can just tell she's a beautiful person. And just as a customer, beyond that, just as a customer, she ships everything so quickly, and she's just wonderful. Like, I just love providing, supporting her shop, and I love the experience that I've always had as her customer. So I can't recommend it enough. And she carries so many different brands. It's just wonderful. So definitely one of my favorites. I recommend, and you're probably here because you already know that, but I definitely recommend her shop. Okay, so I'm finally adhering all this stuff down, and trying to build the interior of the house. And these windows, so I popped up the coffee bar, but I'm going to glue the windows down. They're going to be more recessed. I didn't want them both to be popped up. I didn't put a sentiment on this card. A lot of times I make cards without sentiments so I can use them for any occasion. I just love the way it turned out though. I like how clean and simple it is overall. So I'm just making sure those windows stay flat, and I'm adding in a little more shadowing for snow because I had to adjust that paper upwards. All right, so here's some close-ups for you. I hope you'll stick around, maybe check out some more of my tutorials, and think about subscribing, liking, or sharing my channel with others. I'm just getting started in the whole YouTube world, but I have been making cards for a number of years, and I just want to be a part of the community. Have a blessed day.